Hi, welcome to the RC.
The show that's not about racquetball courts.
This is Rachael.Connor. So this week, we're going to be talking about something that isn't necessarily relationship related, but it's definitely faith related.
We're going to be talking about how to find your place and where you fit in your church community.
There are a bunch of different liturgies and opportunities that are offered at every parish or church all across the world and across the United States that can provide you with an opportunity to use the gifts that God has given you to really give back to Him and to give back to your community. Every person is different. Everyone's mission, everyone's purpose, everyone's gifts are different. The essential solution is to find what your gifts are and to find a place that you feel that most at home using them in your church community.
Now, a disclaimer, a lot of people are going to be partially offended by what we're going to say because there is a point where you have to realize that what you like doing in the church may not be what you are good at. I'm looking at you, lectors who cannot pronounce common words. You can't do it. Same with choir, who's the person who leads the psalm? Like the main choir person.
The cantor?
The cantor. If you're a cantor and you can't carry a tune, you might want to find somewhere else in the church. I'm sorry.
Now that's not to say like you shouldn't do it even if like you're not good. I know there are quite a few people who love to sing loudly at Mass and they may not have the gift of singing. One of my elementary school teachers once told me, God gave you the gift of not being able to sing, you might as well give it back to Him. Which is supposed to be sassy at God, which we should not be, but that's okay because it was funny because I was in 5th grade.
Plus, God loves us, has a sense of humor, so He probably loves our jokes. And our singing.
We hope He has a sense of humor.
And they'll know that we are Christians by our love, by our love.
The whole point is to find that thing that not only do you enjoy doing it, but you also get just a sense of fulfillment and you're really inspiring others by using those gifts. For me, I've always loved reading, both to myself and other people, and I've always enjoyed speaking. And so when I was older, after I was confirmed, my church would allow me to lecture. And it was always really interesting because I was one of the only really young people who would do it. Really one of the only, I think, 2 that did it while we were in high school. And I always really had a fun time with it because here was a moment where I got to get up and do something I love to do and something I was passionate about, and it got to kind of have an impact on other people. I had several people come up to me after church and be like, you did a very good job reading, and a part of me just brushed it off as, oh, I'm young, they're trying to like encourage me and like get me to stay in the faith and everything. What I came to realize later was that in my action of reading at Mass, they were able to see my passion and my love for Christ in a very real way, and in a way that is more authentic and makes the experience of Mass a little bit more enjoyable.
So when I was at Belmont Abbey, I was the choir director for the youth Mass, and that while that seems like a high, mighty, lofty position from which you shall be heralded praise, I absolutely hated when people would come up and be like, oh my gosh, that was so great. Just because personally, I just didn't like it. You should be doing a job not because you're like wanting praise or because, oh, I just want to, because nobody else can do it. You should be doing it because it's something that you can do to praise God. That's really what it comes down to. Like, if you're lecturing, if you're altar serving, if you're doing music, if you're
ushering. If you're being a Eucharistic minister,
if you're being an altar
all
server.
Of that.
Did I already say that?
Yeah.
Altar servers are very important. A good altar server, here's the thing.
Altar servers are underappreciated, having been one of the only female altar servers.
If you are good at your job, it should be, okay, so we're at a film school. It's like editing. If you're editing a video, no one should ever notice that you did a good job editing. Because if you do a bad job editing, everyone will notice. Like, you don't be like, oh yeah, that was a really good camera cut there. The color correction is beautiful. If you say that, you're a nerd.
So you.
It's kind of the same thing with doing a job for the Lord. If you're doing it well, no one should ever notice it. If you're a good altar server, no one should ever notice that you did well. If you're good at singing, no one should ever notice that you sang well. They should just be singing because it's good. It shouldn't reflect back on you.
It shouldn't be dependent on, like, your desire to do something should not be dependent on the kind of praise that you should get.
That's what I was trying to say.
It should be based on just your desire to do this and to share it. We did not start this YouTube channel to get famous. Like,
nope.
It'd be a nice perk.
You have to be pretty to be famous, and I'm ugly.
The reason we started this is because we both had this passion for sharing our faith and for sharing our story and our relationship. And I've always wanted to be able to be that person who was a role model to people. Like, I always wanted to inspire people. I always felt like God was calling me not just to do something big, but to inspire people to reach their fullest potential, to use their greatest gifts, and to see someone who could live out their faith in a very real way and be like, hey, I want to be like that.
And so it really comes down to the question, how do you figure out what you're good at? And it's nothing wrong with wanting to be seen as a role model. I mean, it's because you want people to see Christ. There's nothing wrong with that. So how do you figure out what you're best at? Something that we did in one of our classes that a teacher recommended is called the St. Austin Spirituality Test.
Yes.
It is a test, we'll link it in the description below. It is a spirituality test that basically asks you a bunch of questions, kind of like a personality test, except for it basically says what are your spiritual gifts, and it tells you what your like top best things are, and then it says here's where you would be good in ministry, specifically in your church. So like I am, like my top gift was like wisdom. You know, it's basically like it's Holy Spirit. My top gift was wisdom, and so it was like you're good at like doing prayer teams or like organizing stuff, and I'm like, okay, that's great. Whereas like at the bottom of the list was like hospitality, and I would be awful at being in hospitality ministry. Like the people who like they have the sign and they're like, oh, park here, or being an usher. Yeah, I would suck at that because I would just get so frustrated that like. So Rachel, what would you be good at? What was your results?
So my results were really actually interesting for me because mine were things that I wanted to be good at, but that I didn't see myself as being very good at because I'd never really had the opportunity to look them out. My top one was apostleship, and then administration. So definitely doing the behind the scenes stuff, setting everything up, but also being able to just connect to people in a really authentic way and being able to say, hey, you know, here's your experience and here's where you can go with that, and being able to connect to people and relate to people and being able to share like a message and being able to talk to others. And I always thought that was something I really wanted to be good at, but was never really given a lot of opportunities to explore until now. Now, what's really funny is one of my lower ones, which kind of made me laugh, was musicianship. I don't know, it was like 5th or 6th from the bottom. And I'm actually like fairly okay at singing. Like I sang in church. Yeah. Like I can hold
better
it
than most. By a love.
But I always thought like, oh, that was one of the things that I always did, like in church. So I thought that that would be higher up in the list. Having something at the bottom of your list doesn't necessarily mean you're bad at it. It just means there are other gifts that are so much higher. And so having those opportunities and finding those moments to explore those other gifts, I think is really important. Yes, you may sing in the choir every, Sunday Mass, and people may be like, oh my gosh, your voice is so pretty. Or, you may love singing with the group of people that you do. You may love playing whatever instrument you play, but don't be afraid to explore other things too. Like there are so many opportunities that are never really brought up until there's a need for them. So find those on-end places where there's a need. Really just draw on that. Like you can go to your youth minister or your pastor or
the director of liturgy.
And just tell them like, hey, I have this skill or I have this passion for this thing, and I want to know if there's a way that I can use that in the community. And you'd be surprised like how much those people will just jump on that. It's really just about going out there and trying new things and doing things and finding what works for you. There will be things that you do that you do not enjoy doing. I do not enjoy being an usher.
I hate it.
I have done it, and
it's the worst.
I get so anxious because I'm like, oh, I need to do this, and I need to do this, and I need to do this.
You never know where to put the basket in, what pew, and then you got to get it back, and then you have 2 baskets, and it's like, where'd all the money go?
I never really got to enjoy the Mass because I was so focused on doing the task. I never actually got to enjoy Mass. So you have to remember that like your liturgy should still allow you to praise and worship God in a very exciting and open way.
More than that, whatever job or gift or skill that you have that you use specifically in the liturgy, if you're doing a job within the liturgy, it should draw you deeper in. And that could be something that originally like will cause you some anxiety because God doesn't always call, the chosen. He chooses the call.
He challenges us to do things that we might not think we're meant to do.
There was a cute thing I had there, and I forgot how it goes. But basically, God doesn't call those who are perfect. He makes perfect those who are called. That's what it is. And so if you think, oh, this is something that I'm interested in or I feel like I might be good at, like take that test, figure it out, talk to people and say, hey, what are some things you noticed that I'm like really good at? It's probably going to surprise you what they're going to say because you never noticed it because it's something so innate of who you are.
You don't see the beauty in it.
Exactly. And so figure that out. And it doesn't have to be just in the liturgy. It could just be helping with like nursery ministry. It could be doing a sacristaning after, it could be cleaning the church linens. That's a huge job.
It might be something where you just do this one thing once a year. Maybe you help with the children's living homily at Christmas. It won't be necessarily something that happens every week at Mass. It might be something that happens every once in a while. It's going to be up to you to find that, but I can promise you that once you find that kind of thing, that's just you and that you're good at, you're gonna thrive so much and you're gonna find so much joy out of everything. There will be a whole new experience in your faith when you find that thing that just connects with you.
So it is the start of 2019, so let this be the challenge to you for this new year. Don't let it become something like the gym where you just do it for 3 weeks and then you're done. Find something new. Take the spirituality test or don't. Talk to your friends. Find something new that you really can connect with or that you don't connect with that kind of scares you, and try it. Try something different as a way of serving God. Figure out what it is. That is your challenge for this year.
Yes.
Not just this week, not just this month, this is this year. Just go out of your comfort zone. Find something that allows you to serve God in a different way, and it might surprise you what happens.
So as always, thank you guys so much for tuning in today. Click on the red button below. It says subscription. You can hit the little notification bell. We will post every Tuesdays at the same time that the Instagram post goes up.
What's the Instagram name, Rachel?
The Instagram name is the RC Catholics. We'll try to link it below as well. And then feel free to comment any topics you want us to discuss, any ideas you have, any questions you have. We love commenting back. We love hearing from people. You can also private message us on Instagram or comment on our posts there. Each post comes with a blog as well that doesn't necessarily relate to the video. So go on there and read that. We love just sharing our thoughts and our faith with you guys. Again, thank you guys so much for tuning in, and as always,
Keep it real.